Hey, YouTube people out there. Today we're going to talk about this photo right here on my new series called The Story of a Photo with Charlene. We're going to talk about the story of this photo, a bit of the technical, a bit of the whole story behind how I got to this shot right here. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is show you sort of like a rerun of a behind the scenes I already did. I changed the music and a couple of scenes in there, but here it is, guys. Enjoy, and we'll talk about the photo on the other side. Really quickly, I'll tell you just the story of how we got to do a photo shoot like you're seeing now. I had worked with Charlene B in a photo shoot a while back, in this photo shoot right here. These are some of the shots I took with her initially. This was an old photo shoot, and I had, in between from the time of this to this, I had met a hairdresser and makeup artist. And she had told me, listen, if ever you do a photo shoot and you're interested in doing something a bit crazy, tell me. And then I told that makeup artist and hairdresser, listen, I think I might have something. I think I know someone who might be really good to do something with. And I thought right away of Charlene. And the reason why is any hairdresser would just love to work with someone with such long hair. So I contacted Charlene, and Charlene said yes immediately. And she was into it right away. How did I go from this to this? Well, I just want to say that it was a lot of work. We had done a lot of prep. I mean, Charlene actually got her hair treated a couple times by Priscilla. They got to know each other, and things were ready to go. Now, on the day of the shoot, Priscilla was prepared, very prepared. And she had an idea of her look and how it would be. And this is basically what she did. She basically did a braid here, filled her hair full of volume at the top. Suffice to say, I think that what Priscilla did with this girl's look is just absolutely amazing. So to go from this all the way to this, to me, was pretty amazing. Like she really had an artistic idea. So as soon as you bring in one creative person, you exponentially increase the amount of ideas that occur. So if you bring in a second person, it's not times 2, it's times 4, times 8. I mean, you're going to get a lot more ideas when you bring in someone who's absolutely creative. So I think Priscilla had a great artistic idea of where she wanted to go, and we each played off each other to get a great shot. Let's first talk about Charlene, the model. She has a great pose in this. I think her pose is way out in the distance, called a paramount pose, where you're sort of looking in the distance, and I think it really fits with the look of this image. Her posture is fantastic, and everything is really nice. Now, for the hair and styling, is just an original look, and it forced me to be more original and come up with some great ideas. She had also brought this jacket, and I think the jacket is really fun because it brings in a beautiful, beautiful texture to the shot. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the lighting. I used a beauty dish, but because Priscilla had come up with a tribal look, I said maybe we should be more earthy. On the beauty dish, what happens is when you get a beauty dish, a lot of times you get a reflector dish in the middle, has the ability to change from white, silver, or gold. And I put the gold reflector in the dish to give me more of a warm light. So it really does work. Those gold and silver reflectors really work. If you put in the white, it's softer. If you put in the silver one, it's a very harsh light. And when you bring in the gold, it's very, very warm. And it really does a good job. So this is the final shot that I had right here. I had the reflector on these shots very close up to the face. And in this one, I pulled the reflector back because I really found that when I took a couple test shots, I was getting a lot of the texture of the fur, and it was really, really nice, but it was getting dark on the outside. I pulled the reflector back to make sure I got the nice look and texture of that fur. So this is the shot that came right out of the camera. If you look at this, you can see that it's just basically a bare raw image. A lot of the things are accentuated on the final shot. What I first did was I went to clean up some of these wrinkles here in my backdrop, which is getting old. I got to get a new one. I still got the same backdrop. Anyways, so I did add in a blur layer, and then after that, I re-put in a normal layer, and then I masked out the areas where the cracks are to go and take care of that. So that's initially right here, and this is with the there you go, with the blur layer on. Then after that, I did some retouches on the face, and then after I did brightness contrast to come up with the final image. This is the old photos. I mean, you can play with poses, play with a bit of light and do some stuff, but as soon as you go to this, there's a concept and there's something that is communicated out of the photo more because I worked with another creative person. It's not the same thing if you work with another person, because you can work with a makeup artist or a hairdresser that isn't creative and you're not going to go very far. But this is a great shot to show that two heads are better than one. So there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed, like, share, subscribe. And I wanted to talk to you guys about something. Now, this is a new series I just decided to come up with, and it is basically the story of one photo. I'm not quite sure how to actually propose it to you. What you're looking at now and the other one in the playlist, which I'll leave the link in the end, is the one with Clara. Is basically the formula I see, but is it the right formula? I don't know. If you have any suggestions on what I can do in these videos, but what the initial idea is basically the story of just one photo and how I got to that one photo. I'm not sure. So if you guys can comment below, tell me what you think. All suggestions are taken. Please be as constructive as possible. I mean, all the negative stuff I just throw away. I don't even look at those comments. But if you do have a comment or a suggestion, I am willing to listen to them, and I will thank you very much in advance before you leave them. So again, like, share, subscribe, everybody. And don't forget, keep on making something from nothing.